Hi guys, my name is Will and welcome back to Will Build Everything. Recently, I've been getting into this super cool game called Hollow Knight. You're this main character, the knight, and you're going through this maze-like map, battling, exploring, and it's super fun to play, but overall, I love the graphics. It's super detailed, making it super fun to play. So for this month's build, I'm gonna take my favorite scene and bring it into real life. I'll put up on screen now. The reason I like this scene so much is there's a lot going on, and from the build side of it, there's lots of techniques we're going to use. We're going to do some classic scaling, we're going to work with foam board, 3D printing for our figures, we're going to use some resin for the water, use some LEDs to light up the water, then we're going to do some paper mache for the skulls, some spray foam to make rocks, lots of different techniques we're using. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Even if you're not doing a Hollow Knight diorama, hopefully you can pick up something to put into your own dioramas or builds. So let's get building. So I've made a lot of dioramas in the past, and something that really helps me before I start building is to sketch out a bird's eye view of the diorama. So here on the back of our foam board, we kind of just sketched out our design. So over here we have our path, which we're going to cover in some pebbles, and we're going to use some spray foam to make some like texture and rocks and stalactites. And here is our resin lake. In order to make the resin lake, we're going to have to like stack up some foam to add some depth. Here we have like our bench that our characters could sit on, and we're going to add more spray foam rocks, which is going to look super cool. And in the back here, we have probably our biggest element, the skulls, which we're gonna make out of some paper mache. And something I've learned from making a lot of dioramas, and a good tip for you to take from this, is to start big and work your way small. So we're gonna start on our paper mache skulls. Okay, so like I said in the last scene, we're gonna work from big to small. So we're gonna start off with our paper mache skulls. We're doing paper mache with balloons. It's nice to attach your balloons to the water to a water bottle so it doesn't roll away while you're working. So let's get started. Instead of using my normal newspaper paper mache, I'm going to be using gauze, which is a lot more sturdy and dries a lot quicker. So that's the basic steps to putting on our gauze, and I just have to repeat that a bunch more times to get our first skull. Okay, so I just finished the first skull. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and make sure there's no holes or any spots that need another layer of paper mache. But for now, I'm done with the first skull. I'm gonna go do the other 4, and I'll come back and show you how they look. As you can see, I finished the 4 of their skulls. They're looking pretty nice. Obviously, they need a lot more detail work, but as I said in the intro, I want to work big to small, so the next biggest component is the foundation of our build. So I'm going to clear these off and start on the foundation. Okay, so for my base, I use pink insulation foam. You can get this at any home improvement store, or you could use styrofoam. It's up to you. I want to use pink insulation foam because it's a lot more sturdy, because I'm cutting it. As you can see, I've already cut it down to size, and also done some markings on where I'm going to cut it for the lake and the diorama. Okay, so in order to cut my insulation foam, I'm going to be using this cool tool that's really good for cutting styrofoam and all insulations. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to get one for your own dioramas. Oh, and also since we're working with insulation and heat, we need to be using masks so we don't breathe in any of the toxic chemicals. Okay, let's get cutting. Okay, so I got like the majority of the cutting done. It's looking pretty nice, but now I'm going to come in with my heat gun to make it look a little more irregular, which I think is going to look super cool. even before we put all the rocks in. And if you're doing anything with styrofoam or foam, I definitely suggest this tool. It made it a million times easier. This is the first time I've really gotten to use it, and it worked really nicely. Okay, so I just finished up with some of the heat gunning, and it added a lot of nice contour. I put my character in there just for like a depth check, so when we pour the resin, I think it's been perfect on him. The next step is to add the 3 sides, not the top yet, so then we can do some spray foam and spray paint, and then we can move on to the little details. Okay, so I just finished the 3 sides and the spray foam, and it's looking super nice. I put the skulls in there just to see how we scaled everything, and I think we scaled it perfect. The next step I want to do is I want to get the roof and add some stalactites coming from the roof down, and I think that's going to really get the whole cave environment complete. After that, we're going to spray the roof and the 3 sides. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut the mouth and the eyes for the skulls. You can see the scenes really coming together, but now let's get into the electrical. I got this little LED here on a 3-volt battery. It looks pretty nice. I'm gonna turn off the studio lights here, and it's gonna get kind of dark, but I want to make sure we can really see the full power of the LED so we can really decide the perfect places to put it in our build. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off the lights. And now I need to figure out where I want to put it for the lake. In the lake, we have 3 LEDs that we can put in the lake. And I think I want to spread them out so we can get an equal amount of glowingness in the lake. So I think I'm going to put 1 like around here on the side, 1 in the front, and then 1 on the other side. And for that, we're going to drill down and stick the LED up through with these switches that we're gonna put in a moment through the bottom, so we can easily turn them on and off by accessing the bottom. Okay, so we've made a lot of progress, so I thought it'd be cool to put it all back together so you can see the scene and how far it's come. So here, we finished all the electrical since the last time I was on camera. Down here on the lake bed, we also did the horns on the skulls, and those are looking pretty nice. So the skulls are finished, and now we change our focus to the lake bed, where I glued in our character, the knight. And also I glued in these cool rocks that I picked up in Iceland on a family vacation. We found them in this place called the Black Beach. And when we saw them, we just knew they were gonna be perfect for the diorama. So now it's the moment of truth. It's time to do the resin. It's like the biggest step before we put back on the roof. Okay, so in order to make the lake effect that we're looking for, we're gonna need to set up a temporary dam, 1 here and 1 in the back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape those on. Okay, so it's all taped up, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix my resin, and then we're gonna go ahead and pour it in. Okay, so this is just a simple part A, part B, so I'm just gonna pour equal parts into a cup and then mix them together. Okay, so I've been mixing around 5 minutes and it's looking pretty clear. So I think we're ready to pour. We're gonna pour this first cup and then we're just gonna repeat this process till the lake's full. Okay, so the epoxy has cured, and as you guys can tell, it looks a lot different. The plastic that we had blocking off the front and the back completely failed. The epoxy went everywhere, not good. So we came in, we pivoted late in the game and put in some spray foam in the front and the back, and I think we still got that cool lake effect. So now we made this cardboard arch to be a doorway into our scene that we're gonna glue in right there. We're also gonna glue in this 3D printed bench. And then we're gonna use the hot glue gun onto the skull's mouths, creating a cool drip effect, making it look like a waterfall. So then we'll put on the top, we'll light it up, and you'll get to see the finished product. Hope you guys like that cinematic. I think the diorama turned out pretty cool. Hope you learned some tips and tricks for your own dioramas. Make sure to like and subscribe and see you in the next video.